Welcome back to Rising. Lindsey, what's in your lens today?
Well, of course, we're talking about Jasmine Crockett. Now, she isn't just in the conversation. She is the conversation in Texas politics right now. She hasn't even announced a Senate run, and she's already leading the Democratic field. That's not buzz, that's leverage. Now, Crockett told SiriusXM's The Lori Daniel Favors show that she, quote, will strongly be considering a run for U.S. Senate. And that's not, the motivation isn't ego, it's really backlash. Texas Republicans pushed through a mid-cycle redistricting map that moved Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett out of her own district. And even though she says she and her team are waiting for the court to issue a final ruling on whether the new lines in these districts will go into effect, Crockett isn't exactly the go quietly type. As she put it, quote, if you want to take my seat of 766,000 away, I feel like there has to be some karma in that, to where I take your seat that is for 30 million away. This is not just a revenge tour, it's strategy. Democratic voters, especially voters of color, are tired of polished speeches and poll-tested emotional restraint. Crockett built a national following by sounding like actual people do when they're fed up. When Republicans tried to censure her earlier this year, it only boosted her authenticity. Beltway insiders heard, quote, too brash. Voters finally heard somebody fighting. And that's what makes her viable in a state Democrats haven't cracked statewide in 30 years. She's not promising to turn Texas blue by being polite, but by expanding who shows up. She said it plainly, quote, the primary is the primary. That's cool, but you got to win the general. So we're doing some testing here shortly to see if I can expand the electorate. And the numbers back her up. In an NRSC poll, important note, Republicans commissioned this poll, it shows her leading with 35% support among Democratic voters. A University of Texas Houston poll showed her at 31% ahead of every other potential candidate, including household names like Beto O'Rourke. And this is the part that pundits keep missing. If Democrats want to win Texas, they don't just need a candidate with ideas. They need a candidate who sounds like people who've stopped voting. The millions who feel unheard, overcharged, and politically unseen. The ones who tuned out after 2024 because nothing in politics sounded like them. To them, Crockett doesn't read as angry. She reads as accurate. If she jumps in, she's not just testing the electorate. She's testing a theory that connection matters more than caution, and that the loudest candidate might finally be the one speaking for the people who've been quiet the longest. In other words, Texas might not be changing parties, but the party might finally be changing its voice.
Well, the Democratic Party already has two interesting candidates in this race, Colin Allred, who ran against Ted Cruz last time around and lost, and this James Tallarico guy who made a big splash after being on Joe Rogan. And if Jasmine Crockett gets in the race too, it'll be really fun and interesting.
You have a smirk on your face. Jasmine Crockett, she's already polling super high. She's already doing well. And that's among Democratic voters, but she said she's testing out. I mean, when you think about the whole redistricting drama that we had all summer, for you guys to put her in a district that she doesn't, not you guys, for Texas Republicans to put her in a district that she doesn't even live in. You should put her on your TV set because she has good information to say, but that's beside the point.
I'll enjoy having her on my TV set.
I'd love to see her debate. Yes, she. What are you like talking like the kids?
No, I think it'd be very entertaining. I think she very well might win the Democratic nomination, and I think she would get utterly destroyed in the general election. But we'll see. Well, I mean, I think they're all going to lose. Texas is a red state. The idea of blue Texas is a pipe dream of the Democratic Party. I think all three of those candidates will lose. Maybe, unless, I guess Republicans, they have their issues because it's Ken Paxton is seeking it, and he's kind of a nut job. He's not great. So Republicans get in with some crazy person, and then Democrats, if they have a nice moderate person, they could win. I don't know that Jasmine Crockett fits that bill.
Oh, I don't think
I think they're more likely to hold the Senate seat if she's the candidate. So
I would say that voters
are
not like clutching their pearls anymore. Democratic voters are looking for somebody who represents the voice of speaking up, and I think that's why Jasmine Crockett, no matter how much
Hot Wheels.
No, Trump has said worse. Okay, please. Let's not even go down the list.
Trump
Don't act like you don't understand. He said it's worse.
Excuse?
People are matching fire with fire. When you're angry, you say stuff that you don't mean. You always talk about not combing through people's old tweets and things and holding them accountable.
Tweets? You said this
for the
like
rest
a month ago.
no, you said for the rest of their lives.
Ago.
One thing, it doesn't count for the rest of their lives. So let Jasmine Crockett. Trump has said rude things. He's the leader of the Republican Party right now. Jasmine Crockett is matching fire with fire. And some people who are fed up are like, you know what? This represents how upset I am. I don't think that's the way to go. I'm an individual, but I'm just telling you, just like you're an individual, I'm sure you don't like everything that President Trump says, right? We can agree.
I certainly do.
Okay, so then therefore some people, the same way that you have an affinity to the policies, appreciate Jasmine Crockett, her policy, her boisterousness, her loudness.
Okay, but you're celebrating her for her boisterousness, not really.
No, I'm celebrating the Democratic Party for finding a voice in Jasmine Crockett. The same party that was voiceless after Kamala lost is finding a rising star, specifically over 2025. She has gained traction. I'm celebrating that they have something. I'm celebrating
not for her policy ideas. Like I prefer Donald Trump's policies for the most part, although I have serious disagreements with him on trade and immigration. I prefer his policies to Democrats' policies, so I support him to the extent I support him over
and
Democrats.
Jasmine Crockett more aligns with like AOC and Bernie Sanders, right?
Yeah,
she's populist. So I'm just telling you that's what her policies are. So being that adamant and not being maybe as nice, like Bernie Sanders has a nice way of saying it, right? He does it a diplomatic way. He's been in politics for a long time. Jasmine Crockett might be an extension of that, except the one that's fed up. And people are like, those together kind of makes sense. You remember how well Bernie Sanders was doing when he was polling against Biden and when he was actually being considered to be the Democratic candidate for president. So that Jasmine Crockett's not that far off. She could polish up in a few ways, but if Trump wasn't expected to polish up, I'm not sure why Jasmine Crockett has to when she's going for a lesser position.
You know that her colleagues.
Okay, some people hate AOC, and she's also set herself up to run for president if she'd like. So, people hate a lot of people. A lot of Trump's colleagues, newsflash, hated him. They didn't want him to move forward.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore because they had to fall in line. Sometimes that's what the party needs to do. And if we go with Jasmine Crockett's strategy of just taking the bulls by the horn, or if we go with the Democrats' original strategy, which is to find and pay millions of dollars for a new Joe Rogan, and the strategy they laid forth, which has been nothing of substance, I think Jasmine Crockett might be a good leader to follow as they try to figure out what their voice is.
I have to stop myself. I don't know why I'm arguing with you. You're right. You're right, Lindsey. Jasmine Crockett should be the face of the Democratic Party.
Why did you change course?
Thank you. What am I saying?
Why did you say that? Why did you?
Yes, Lindsey.
Maybe she should run for president.
Over James Talarico and have it be directly for president. I agree.
Everything.
Jasmine
go to president.
Crockett on every ballot would be yes. I am for this. I am for this. And on behalf of MAGA, your terms are acceptable.
Okay.
What am I doing?
I'm happy that we swayed you over to the.
I fully on board.
Actual right side.
I'm getting on board now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. A new study suggests fewer children are getting peanut allergies these days. We'll discuss why and see how people are reacting to the news up next.